I'll be referencing a few statistics from a study that we did and published in our Continuous Testing Navigator for 2021. And I've got a link to that document here. You can come back and copy that down later. It's easy to find on our website, and it will also be available in our virtual booth here at Agile Plus DevOps. So feel free to drop by our booth, ask for that, ask for any other information that might come up while we're talking today. So with that behind us, let's start out with what is DevOps? We're at a DevOps conference, so I think everybody knows, but I do want to take some time to just ground ourselves. And you can pause to read here, but the things that I want to pull out of here in particular are that although I'm going to talk today about tools and practices primarily, DevOps is not just about tools and practices. It also incorporates philosophies. I'm not going to dig into that today, but I don't want to overlook that. And I think there'll be other people better at that than me talking about that at the conference. I also want to pull out the focus on speed and the movement within DevOps to accelerate the delivery of software to our customers, deliver value to our customers so that we and they can compete more effectively in the market. Because I think that acceleration, that speed, is really what drives a lot of what we're going to be talking about today. As I said, I'm not going to delve into sort of the philosophical, social topics of DevOps in an organization, but I will talk about some technical capabilities and some processes. And not surprisingly, the one that I'm going to pull out is continuous testing. You see it here in this list that I pulled from the DORA website of some key technical capabilities underlying a successful DevOps environment. And in addition to continuous testing, I will probably touch on some other elements and how they interact. Things like continuous integration, continuous delivery, may even speak a little bit to test data management. But they all work together. But today's topic will be focused on continuous testing. So going back to that acceleration, I want to use this chart to talk about why DevOps is so important now, why testing, test automation, and test orchestration are so important. This is a chart pulled from the white paper that I mentioned earlier. And it shows here that the majority of the respondents, and we had about 2,000 some odd practitioners surveyed, people at all different levels, including both quality professionals and development engineers, including teams of various sizes. Anyway, what we pulled from that was how often are they deploying? And what we found was the majority were deploying more than daily. So daily or hourly, and hourly really meant multiple times per day. And even, going down, you can see the tail is really in the beyond monthly. Once you've taken weekly, daily, and hourly into account, you've really taken the vast bulk of teams. And that is dramatically faster than we have delivered software historically. It's only, accelerating over time. So I think that discussion of accelerating delivery times does a good job of setting up the importance of DevOps, why DevOps has become a requirement for any successful software organization today. I think that takes us to the question of why test in DevOps and where does testing fit? And I found myself really fortunate to run across this tweet from Jez Humble, who I imagine everybody here knows. And it actually came out after I'd already selected this topic and was working on this. But I think it does a great job of setting up this discussion. You can stop and read. I'll read a bit. So Jez says, "It's come to my attention that many people think continuous delivery deployment is about taking whatever stuff you have in version control and shipping it into prod as fast as possible so that you can test in prod. Jess contends that that is not the case, and that continuous delivery is about making it safe to ship your code into prod. And I love this setup because while I agree and have talked about the need to test in prod in a modern environment for most organizations, because it's increasingly difficult to replicate everything in staging environments, particularly scale for internet scale companies. At the same time, I think Jez is dead right about the fact that there is still a place for testing prior to prod. And I'd argue even in prod, there's more to do to test in prod than just shipping whatever you can. That gets into observability and maybe more than we can talk about today. But with that setup, I flipped to another tweet within the thread from Jez, and he says, running many kinds of comprehensive tests fast and continuously so that you can find problems before you ship is key to being successful. And he goes on to mention other key elements, creating a fast deploy process, working in small batches, and gets into some of the not tooling-based topics of evolving your processes, your socio-technical systems, so that you can detect and remediate prod incidents and learn from deploying into prod. And again, that's more than we can talk about today. But I'm going to focus on this: running many kinds of comprehensive tests fast and continuously. How we can do that, how we can do it better. And we do that, of course, because I think we all know that testing often is a bottleneck in software development. As we build more elaborate, more complicated, more interconnected systems, and we have this increasing demand for that type of software, we need to deliver faster, but we've got more to deliver. Manual testing certainly can't keep up with that. We're going to talk about automation, automated testing, how that can help. And then we're going to flip over into why even automation isn't enough and why orchestration needs to be layered in on top of that. And I think that's critical because that bottleneck has real implications, both the bottleneck for manual testing and the bottleneck that I will show occurs even with automated testing. And that means those implications are lost business opportunities, the inability to scale up your software delivery, your product. You've got longer release times, you've got costly test operations. And you've also got errors slipping through because, in particular, manual testing is unable to be precise. We're humans, we just can't keep our eye on every detail all the time.